Eclectors, and welcome back to the Eclectic Collection podcast. Today is episode 39, Stuck. And oh boy, was I stuck. So in a recent trip to the happiest place on earth, I love my little dark rides and boat rides, and we all know I love boats. I just don't quite have that yacht yet, but I'm working on it someday. And went to what used to be Maelstrom in Norway and is now the Frozen ride, which is pretty cool. And they have all that new animatronic stuff, and I love the little boats, and it's very Viking and Norse mythology, and it's cool. So we go through the ride, and everything's peachy, and you do a little backwards part, and a little drop, and you get a little splash, and not so much. And then the very end piece where you're going through the village, and there's the fireworks, and it's cool. And it was nighttime, coincidentally, that we were on the ride. But my two friends and I were in the second to last row of the boat, and we got to the edge where clearly you hit the little part that you're supposed to kick open the doors, and then you're done the ride and just drive around the front, and it's time to get out. Well, we hit the little boat part and clicked open the doors, but that was it. We were stuck. And I thought, it'll click in a second. Nope. Another second. Nope. And everything just kept playing and playing and playing. Now, the only thing I could think that would be worse than this would be Small World, because you're stuck with creepy dolls, no projection animation whatsoever. They're very close to you, and that song could make you put a fork in your eye after you listen to it enough. As much as I love Small World, no hate, but after 65 times in a row, it starts to get old. So there are little fireworks everywhere, and the projections are going, and the noise is going, and the music is going, and we're just stuck. And now the little boat behind us is crashing into the back of us, and we can't move. And there's another boat behind them that's now crashed into them, and we can't move. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. And 5 minutes turns into 10 minutes, turns into 20 minutes. And eventually, after many little characters breaking through saying, "Hello, we're stuck, it's okay, it'll be back, technical difficulties in a minute," in his little wannabe Norwegian accent. No, just kept sitting there, whole lot of nothing. And once we crossed the half hour, 35-minute threshold, finally the actual Disney representatives came on and said, "Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties, you think? So just sit tight, we're going to be with you in a minute." But we didn't really know what that meant. And of course, we're all looking at our watch because it was the last thing we were going to do at night until we could go see the new Harmonia show in Epcot. So we had time, but not that much time. And you know how things go. It's like New York blocks. It really is only 9 blocks away. But in a cab, or, that could be like an hour, depending on what happens with traffic. So Disney time just slows down somehow. After around another 15 minutes, they get back on saying, "Oh, stay with us, folks. We'll be back. We'll figure it out." Well, it was 45 minutes in. And finally, they turn off the music. Cheers heard from all boats. Yay! Because obviously we're kind of sick of the whole background story. But then the really crazy thing happened. Something that's never happened to me ever before. They flicked on the lights, which is so shocking in Disney because they don't like to reveal how they do things. And I took in all that I could visually, but the whole room, even though it was nighttime, was lit up immensely. And you could see where the lighting was and where the projections were, which was very cool for me from a technical perspective, but it was crazy. It was like watching a dog walk on its hind legs. And we stayed that way for about another 10 or 15 minutes, and a mechanic came over with a flashlight and started looking at the stop that the boat was on, realizing that, we were stuck and there was a mechanical problem, and we just had to reset everything. So they actually tell us about a little less than an hour in that we're going to be evacuated from the ride. Now, I've heard that this happens, and it happens more often than people think, but I've never had this happen. And as much as I've ever gone to Disney, it's just lore in my world. I've never thought about it. It's like some legend that you just hear about and isn't true. So I thought, oh my God, this is the first time I'm ever going to get evacuated from a Disney ride. And I thought, we're in water, deep in a boat. How is this going to happen? And no sooner did they say it, I start to hear this like, and what it was were the grates that it looked like the grates were rising, but in reality, they were just taking the water out the bottom of the grate. There's all this metallic grate that is kind of like a manhole cover looking thing. So it's dark iron or brown, and the water generally covers it. So when you're floating by and you're in the boat, about, I would say, chest level to where you're seated is this grate, and it's covered in water. So if you were to actually stick your hand out, which don't do that, that's a no-no. But if you were to do that, you'd probably have maybe wrist deep or elbow deep in water. So they just took the water and sort of sucked it out the bottom underneath the grate, and then you could walk on the grate. So they came by, and after it lowered, they tilted the boat a little bit to the left so you could get some footing, and they went row by row and took everybody out to step onto the actual grate platform. And then you walked around the ride to an emergency exit that was very well hidden in go away green, as they like to call it in Disney. And it was the cast members' entrance. So it was like their break room and where they clocked in. So that was spectacular to me. That was like its own ride because you never really get to see behind the scenes in Disney ever. And I don't think we were back there 5 minutes, but it was just cool to see that there's real people there too. And they walked us through and took us out to the other side of the exit where you would normally go out. And we did make the fireworks. It wasn't a problem at all. They were very kind, and they gave us all another pass to be able to utilize at any park the next day, because that was really it. After that, it was just fireworks and time to go home, and the park was closing. So luckily we were there another day and able to use it the following day when we went to Hollywood Studios. So that was very, very nice of them. And it was kind of funny because the three boats sort of bonded, and everybody got talking and joking because it just lends itself to so many jokes and silliness when you're stuck hearing the same music over and over again. So of course everybody's like, cold never bothered me anyway, back and forth. And everybody was in a really good mood. And even though we were all worried about fireworks, luckily we did get to see them, which the new show, by the way, is worth seeing, Harmonious. Very cool. It's got a lot of water in it, actually, and fountains, lasers, sprays. It's very different than the one that they had running for years. I did like that one where the little earth opens, but now it's like barges that they project onto. There's a lot of projection there now, and I guess the tech has evolved. But we did get to see it, and everybody was saved. So it wasn't quite the perilous risk, but it was neat to see, and I'd never had an experience like that. So that was my, I guess, bucket list. I didn't really plan that, but it was very cool to see the behind the scenes and what goes on when you're in the cast member section, and just how they do that. It is neat to see the tracks and the tech and have the mechanics come out and actually explain how things work, because you're just on it and it's just, you're part of the magic. So when you actually get the lights on and get to see the whole backstory, it's twice as fascinating. From an engineering feat, my hat's off to them, because the Imagineers, I could never put together what they did, and it was really, really cool. So I hope you don't get stuck if you end up somewhere in any theme park. But I was just very thankful that I didn't have to go up lots of stairs or down lots of stairs. I just had to step off a boat onto a very flat platform that even klutz me would successfully get around to a little door. If you liked the story today and would like to check us out some more, go to eclecticcollectionpodcast.com or follow us on your preferred platform. And don't forget to check out Mysterious Morsels, our YouTube channel that talks about all things spooky, funky, interesting, and just as eclectic, but we like to call them Mysterious Morsels. So go check that out on YouTube. I'm Terry Tenaglia. Thanks for listening.